That's 1-800-Flowers.com/listen.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. Because when you feel empowered, you're more ready for life's challenges. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, entirely online, and it matches you with a licensed therapist. Let therapy help empower you. Visit betterhelp.com/goal to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.
Now on SportsCenter All Night. A retirement announcement from the GOAT.
I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So it won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year.
A split could be on the way for the 49ers in one quarterback.
There's a scenario which you guys can see Jimmy being back, and if so, what would that look?
No, I don't see any scenario of that.
Brianna Stewart finds herself in an Empire state of mind.
Well, it's been a roller coaster of emotions for sure, and I decided I want to continue to be great. Why not go to the biggest market in all of sports?
Plus, LeBron continues to chase Kareem as we take you up and down the court with the NBA.
They have a 30-point lead, and it took them 9 minutes to get it.
This is SportsCenter All Night.
I actually got a salad, so y'all should applaud me for that, right?
First of all, that doesn't look like a salad over here. Are you sure?
Yeah,
salad?
what's going on?
This is lettuce right here. I mean, I didn't say all of it was a salad.
Here's Jay Reynolds.
Pasta salad counts too, you know. SportsCenter All Night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. As we flip the calendar from January to February on Wednesday, it was a day filled with big stories. There was a major move in the WNBA. Oh, and yeah, that football retirement.
First of all, can Tom Brady please stop retiring on WNBA free agency day? This is 2 years in a row now, and we're sick of him taking all the shine.
That's our Rebecca Lobo reaction to those stories straight ahead. But while TB12 was getting the spotlight Wednesday for opting to stay home from now on, the Warriors have been in the spotlight this NBA season for what they've been doing on the road. Or not doing, as the case may be. Hashtag winning. Wednesday, Golden State playing the Timberwolves in Minnesota. This was a tight one late in the fourth.
Curry, head fake on Anderson. Stunner steps down the lane, flipped it high. He somehow made that up as he went along and ties the game at 110.
He came under the arms of the defenders and put it up off the glass. He shot that from his waist.
95-7 the game. Curry making that shot with a minute and a half to go in the game, tying the game at 110. But Curry also misses a 20-footer with 6 seconds to go, which would have given Golden State the victory. Instead, it was off to overtime.
Now he gets blitzed to the right side. Edwards crosses over on Wiggins, turns the corner to the rim. Oh, in traffic, he got it to fall. Off window and in for 2 for Ant. He scored the last 4. Timberwolves with a 5-point lead.
8:30 WCCO. They're up 5 there, and they win it 119-114. Timberwolves have won 7 of their last 8 home games against Golden State. Anthony Edwards, 6 straight 25.5 assist games. Longest streak in Timberwolves history. As for the Warriors, they've lost 9 consecutive road overtime games. Last overtime win on the road came in December of 2017 against the Clippers. Overall, the Warriors are 2-15 in overtime games since 2017. Home and away. Steph Curry did have 29 points, but was 0 for 3 from the floor in overtime. Klay Thompson, 14 points in the loss. Warriors have lost 19 of their 26 road games this season, but ESPN analyst Jalen Rose isn't quite giving up on them.
I made my mind up. I'm going to treat the Warriors like they're that champion that has the belt, and I'm probably going to pick them and see how literally till I see them get knocked out. Because if they're a 4 versus 5 seed, I'm probably going to pick them to do it. That's when they're going to be at their best. And Steph Curry had a shot to win that game. I guess it's always good D when they miss. He just missed the shot.
But you know who actually won them the game? This man, Mr. Ant Edwards.
Yep.
27 points after D'Lo fouled out, and he was scoreless in the fourth quarter. In OT, he had some really big buckets down the stretch, and I think that's a sign of growth for him.
But listen, when you talk about Anthony Edwards and Russell, right? In 2023, they have low-key been the best backcourt in the NBA. No Karl Anthony Towns, no problem. They've been winning games and putting up numbers.
D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards combining for 56 points in the win over Golden State. Speaking of putting up numbers, to Portland's game in Memphis.
High screen comes, goes with it to the left, looks back for the pick and roll to Eubanks underneath. Clark's on his back, out to Dame in the corner, fadeaway three. Yes, Damian Lillard's got 36. That's a new career high against Memphis, and the Blazers now lead at 109-107. Free throw line extended, he's got the ball. Clark is on his back, gets into the paint, finds Dame. Dame step back three on the way, buries it. Damian Lillard again, he's got 39.
Rip City Radio 620, Blazers a 10-point win over the Grizzlies, 122-112. 42 for Dame Lillard, 42 points and 10 assists. His 15th career game with 40 and 10, breaking a tie with Jerry West for the 5th most such games in NBA history. Lillard does, 43 career games with 30 and 10, matching all other players in Blazers history combined. John Morant, 32 in the losses. The Grizzlies lose for the 6th time in their last 7. Tune in for NBA action tonight. Cavaliers hosting the Grizzlies, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Radio. How about the eagerly anticipated showdown between the Celtics and Nets on Wednesday? So much for a showdown. This one was over early, like first quarter early.
Tatum, deep on the left side, steps to his left, into a three, got it. The Celtics are 8 of 8 from 3. They have a 30-point lead, and it took them 9 minutes to get it. Where were you the night this happened?
Jason Tatum single-handedly outscoring the Nets team in the first quarter. 98.5 the Sports Hub. In the end, it's a 43-point blowout for Boston, 139-96 over the Nets. Boston led by as many as 49. They hit 26 three-pointers. Jason Tatum had 31 points, his 94th career 30-point game. He spoke with our Katie George.
Jason, 3 days off looks good on you. Such an incredible performance. What was going through your mind there in that first quarter especially?
Yeah, I think, after the last couple of games we had going in overtime and things like that, a couple of days off, did us well. I think we just refreshed and we're locked in and just ready to go from the start. I just like the purpose we play with. Obviously, we knocked down shots, but I think we had great intentions throughout the whole game.
When Marcus Smart went down, there was an adjustment offensively. How do you feel like your group has navigated it?
We have a next man up mentality. It's a long season, right? Guys will be getting out the lineup. That's the one, great reason why we have Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White and Peyton. We have depth, to fill those voids when guys are out. So, just next man up mentality and figure out the way to win.
Speaking of that, you had Rob Williams back in the lineup. How impactful is he when he's on the floor?
On any given night, Rob might be the most important guy on our team, especially to our long-term success. So I'll be the first guy to say that, to get to where we want to get to, we need Rob and, want to keep him on the floor and keep him healthy.
Boston also has both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They have each scored 25 points in the same game 27 times this season. And the Celtics roll over the Nets. Brooklyn losing by 43, their largest loss since 2014. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
I will bet you any amount of money this dude is done. It's time to move on.
The news hitting first thing Wednesday morning around 6 a.m. Eastern. Tom Brady let the Bucs know what was going on, and then at 8 o'clock Eastern, he posted his short video on social media.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So it won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year.
Yeah, last year on the same day, no less. Brady would go on in his video to throw out a few thank yous, and he did get emotional. But the bottom line is he says, this time it's for good. And ESPN's Jeff Darlington says Brady wasn't really contemplating that many options.
The end of the season, when he began his contemplations of what's next. And those contemplations, I know this will surprise many, was actually down to either retirement or a return to the Bucs. He was not considering playing for another team. He had made that very clear to many in the organization in Tampa Bay. And as he proved with his decision to retire before even flirting with free agency, that turned out to be the case. Now the question is why? Why did he decide to retire? I'm told by those close to him, quite frankly, he's exhausted. He is tired. He is ready to reset. He is ready to rebuild his life and move into a new direction that doesn't include playing football. And yes, you could say it is merely the result of 23 years of playing football, but it is also of 12 months that have been very difficult on him. A public divorce during a very difficult season. Essentially, Brady getting to the point where he says, I've given all I can give to this game. I'm ready to find a new direction in my life, and it is one that will no longer involve playing football.
And so with Wednesday's retirement announcement came the accolades, the stories, and the invitations.
Who tweeted that?
Quote, greatest of all time, no question, no debate. It's been an honor and a privilege. P.S. The newly retired group meets on the golf course every morning at 10 a.m. Drinks are on the new guy, so bring your wallet.
Who tweeted that?
That coming from J.J. Watt, one of a slew of those who took to social media to offer their best wishes. Patrick Mahomes, Derek Jeter, Russell Wilson, not to mention the Patriots and the Buccaneers as a team, the NFL itself, and the Hall of Fame. It may well have been the single biggest usage day for the GOAT emoji. No one, of course, saw this coming back in the 2000 NFL draft, but the greatness would emerge, and his teammates remember it. ESPN analyst and former Patriot Damien Woody.
For me, it's like Super Bowl 36. We're playing against then the St. Louis Rams at the time, and just to fast forward, the Rams, they scored the tying touchdown in the game, and we got the last drive, man. And if you remember John Madden on the telecast, it was like, oh, we should just play for overtime in that drive. Well, we were like, screw all that. We're going for the win right here. And Tom Brady just executed just this perfect 2-minute drill, marching methodically down the field all the way down, and eventually Adam Vinatieri kicks the game-winning field goal, seals the deal in Super Bowl 36. That was before the superstardom. But, yeah, you always got to have a seminal moment where you're like, yeah, he's the one. That's the guy.
And how he'll be remembered, his NFL legacy, ESPN analyst and former Patriots teammate Teddy Bruschi.
The obsession and the addiction that Tom Brady had in terms of preparation, the maintaining of the success, sustaining the success, and how it was just part of it's part of who he is, and it'll never go. And just the obsession. The best story I can tell is when I was at the Pro Bowl with Tom, and we were a handful of players in the locker room by ourselves. Back then, when you played the Pro Bowl, everyone gets announced as the team that you represent, going from the least successful to the most successful. So we had just won a Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers had been announced because they were in the AFC Championship game. We're about to be announced. I mean, here we are. I mean, we're about to be announced as world champions at the Pro Bowl, and Tom Brady gathers all of us around. It was myself, it was Seymour. I think Izzo was there, a special teamer. Vinatieri was there. He says, you know what, guys? No one's ever won 3 in a row. That's great and all, but I've still got the confetti under my shoes from the celebration in Jacksonville. But it was the addiction that was winning to Tom, that even some of his teammates couldn't understand that he was already ready to win another one. And that was just contagious with everyone within the locker room when you're talking about being a teammate and setting a standard. And now it goes to Patrick Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Hurts, all the great quarterbacks out there. Good luck trying to live to this standard.
And speaking of greatness, what made Brady so special is our Keyshawn Johnson.
You start up top, right? You start with the brain. You start with pre-snap read, understanding what the coaches are giving you, retaining that information and presenting it to your teammates out on the field. So you can methodically move up and down the field. I know what's happening before you even though the defensive coaches have told the defensive players where they're supposed to be. I know you're going to be there before you even get there. And that's how smart quarterbacks, you mentioned the talent. We all know he's talented, but he's not Michael Vick. He's not that type of talent. What his talent is his brain and his arm and being able to understand what the defenses are trying to do to him. That's the talent for Tom Brady.
Brady won a record 7 Super Bowls for New England and Tampa Bay. He retires at the age of 45, owning a number of passing records in his unprecedented 23-year NFL career. Speaking of greatness, look who's headed to the Big Apple. That's next. SportsCenter All Night continues at ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday, does Green Bay give Aaron Rodgers the best chance to win a Super Bowl next season? And if not, then where does he go? Keyshawn J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is SportsCenter All Night.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535.
Valentine's Day is fast approaching. If you haven't already ordered a bouquet that's guaranteed to wow from 1-800-Flowers.com, listen up. Right now, when you lock in your order today, you'll save $20 on 2 dozen romantic red roses. Plus, you'll get a free vase. This offer from 1-800-Flowers is only good while supplies last. So stop what you're doing and get $20 off your bouquet with 1-800-Flowers. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/listen. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/listen.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. Because when you feel empowered, you're more ready for life's challenges. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, entirely online, and it matches you with a licensed therapist. Let therapy help empower you. Visit BetterHelp.com/goal to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/goal.
Ready for a reset? Sakara is a nutrition company that supports your goals, from weight management to boosted energy without deprivation or crash dieting. Their meals are backed by science, plant-rich, and nutritionally designed. And it's delivered fresh to your door anywhere in the U.S. Start your new year with 20% off your first order when you go to sakara.com/radio or enter radio at checkout. That's SAKARA.com/radio. The simplest healthy habit to start this new year is one for your dog. Every day, more dog people and more vets are quitting the kibble, kicking the cans, and feeding their dogs dog food that's actually, well, food. The Farmer's Dog Food is developed with vets, made fresh from real meat and veggies, portioned for your dog and delivered right to your door. Get 50% off your first box of smarter, healthier pet food at thefarmersdog.com/fresh start. That's thefarmersdog.com/fresh start. This is the smell of the leftover tuna fish sandwich you left in your lunchbox over the weekend in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? Hefty Ultra Strong has Arm & Hammer with continuous odor control, so no matter what's inside your trash, you can stay one step ahead of stinky. And for bigger jobs, try the superior strength of Hefty Large Black Bags. Breathe in and out. Let relaxation fill your mind, even if you're super stressed and behind on your taxes like me. Sorry to interrupt. Who are you? I'm April from TaxAct. You can let go of tax season stress and elevate to a heightened state of serenity with our free expert help and a maximum refund. Free help? Waves of calm are washing over me. Good, because here comes a storm of cash. TaxAct, the help you need for free.
See TaxAct.com for details.
Oh, such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I know, right? I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
Oh, no, I meant those blackout motorized shades. MVP of the room.
And a minimal salary cap hit. Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. Even you could do it.
Nice.
I installed these and then got some for my mom, too.
You fly across the country to do the install?
Nope. Blinds.com can do it all. All she had to do was pick what she wanted. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Look at you, a Hall of Fame son.
Oh, I just picked the winning team. They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Oh, Blinds.com is the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Go to Blinds.com for up to 40% off site-wide plus free shipping and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go right now for up to 40% off site-wide at Blinds.com. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Go old school. Heading south to Oxford, east through Arkansas, or are you in Collierville? We're on 680 AM too.
Oh, I just use an old school radio, man.
92.9 FM ESPN, Memphis' sports station.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
Tom Brady said it with words. Brianna Stewart did it with a quick change video. Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Brianna Stewart is heading east from Seattle, announcing Wednesday that she will land with the New York Liberty in the WNBA.
Well, it's been a roller coaster of emotions for sure. And I decided to go to New York because I want to continue to be great. And I want to go to the place where I can continue to help this league become better, to continue to raise the standard. And I feel like why not go to the biggest market in all of sports? And I'm really excited to go after their first championship.
Brianna Stewart with our Malika Andrews. Stewart had spent her entire career in Seattle since the Storm drafted her with the top overall pick in 2016. Stewart, the most coveted free agent this offseason, won the WNBA MVP in 2018. She's won a pair of titles in 7 years in Seattle. She's averaged just over 20 points and 8.5 rebounds over the course of her WNBA career. ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo.
You mentioned all of the numbers, the MVP, the finals MVPs, the championships. One of the numbers that's really important here is 28, and that's how old Brianna Stewart is. She is certainly still on the ascent of her career. This is a young woman who won 4 national championships in college, 4 most outstanding performers while she was there. Simply put, she is a winner. When you keep in mind that the New York Liberty is the only original franchise yet to win a WNBA championship, Liberty fans have to be so excited about the possibility of how soon that's going to come now that they have Brianna Stewart.
You got Jonquel Jones, you got Ionescu. What do you see this team doing now? Because they did have a good season last year, coming off their most wins since 2017, but now what?
Well, first of all, it's good to know that Brianna Stewart and Jonquel Jones did play together or have played together overseas in Russia. They certainly know how to be on the floor with one another, play with one another. And Sabrina Ionescu is an outstanding point guard who can deliver the basketball. She is a pick and roll point guard. We know that both Brianna Stewart and Jonquel Jones can flourish in that. They both can space the floor. Sandy Brondello, when she won a championship in Phoenix, Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, she certainly knows how to mesh personalities, how to mesh big stars, and in particular, those 3 that we're talking about with the New York Liberty, they have the kind of personality I think that they are going to welcome one another, and it's going to work really well for them on the court.
Liberty building themselves a super team in New York. Wednesday was the first day that free agents were able to sign. Candace Parker, who announced over the weekend that she would sign with Las Vegas, officially did so on Monday. As for Brianna Stewart, on the court on Wednesday, her alma mater with a 10-point win, 5th-ranked UConn, a 64-54 win over Providence. UConn extending its win streak to 14 games, 32nd straight win against Providence. 4th-ranked Indiana takes care of Minnesota, 77-54. Indiana 9-1 in its last 10 games against Minnesota, including winning the last 6. Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio. On the men's side, top-ranked Purdue in action against Penn State.
Way to go, Fletcher Lawyer. 3 for Mason Gillis. Timeout, Penn State. He just knocked down another 3-point ball. 7 threes in the game for Mason Gillis. Is that Carson Edwards or Mason Gillis? Swings it right side. Morton. Ethan skips to Gillis, far left wing. He's going to shoot another 3. And why not? Mason Gillis is unconscious.
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. Mason is just, he's in the zone, right? You're not thinking when you're in the zone, you're just letting it fly.
Purdue with the 20-point win, 80-60 over Penn State. They improved to 22-1. Third time since 2000 a Big Ten team has started the season with 22 wins in 23 games. 2011, Ohio State did it. Illinois did it in 2005. Purdue is 11-1 in Big Ten play this year. Rob Blackman calling it from Learfield. While the top-ranked team in the nation comes away with a win, the number 2 team in the nation had a little bit of a struggle.
That's going to do it. Chop this one up for the Gators. Florida stuns number 2, Tennessee. 67-54 is the final score.
That's a familiar voice. Sean Kelly, Learfield. Florida upends number 2 Tennessee, 67-54. Tennessee, the 10th different school to lose while ranked in the top 2 this season. That's the most different teams to lose as a top 2 team in a single season in the history of the poll. 25th ranked Auburn and Georgia.
Right wing, Donaldson, low post, Broom. Spins, 13-footer. It's good.
Good. He's having a heck of a game.
Boy,
He's
is he
having a
ever.
heck of a game.
19 points, 16 rebounds tonight for Janai Broom.
Auburn Sports Network with the call. Auburn, a 94-73 win over Georgia. The 94 points, second most in a game against Georgia in the last 40 seasons. They scored 95 in a win in 2021. They outscored Georgia 48-18 in the paint time for the second most paint points in a game this season. And Auburn comes away with the win over Georgia. Number 16 Xavier, an 85-83 win over 17th ranked Providence. Straight ahead, how will we look back on this final year for Tom Brady? That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Greeny, and football continues to take center stage. One legend has walked away in Tom Brady. Another legend goes directly under the microscope. What will Aaron Rodgers do? And, of course, we're working our way towards the Super Bowl. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use ClosetBox instead? ClosetBox is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. ClosetBox's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. ClosetBox's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. ClosetBox has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
92.9 FM ESPN is Memphis' sports station. Enter to win free tickets to Memphis Hustle basketball games now at 929ESPN.com. Click on Games and Events, 92.9 FM ESPN. Jeff Calkins, Jason and John, Giannato and Jeffrey, the flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers Talk.
What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze?
92.9 FM ESPN.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. Because when you feel empowered, you're more ready for life's challenges. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, entirely online, and it matches you with a licensed therapist. Let therapy help empower you. Visit betterhelp.com/goal to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/goal.
Everyone knows it's not Valentine's Day without the roses. For close to 50 years, 1-800-Flowers.com has set the standard for love's official blooms. 1-800-Flowers.com works with premier farms in the U.S. and abroad that follow socially and environmentally responsible practices, making sure only the freshest, most beautiful bouquets make it from the farms and to your door. Surprise someone with a wow-worthy Valentine bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com/listen. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/listen.
Ready for a reset? Sakara is a nutrition company that supports your goals, from weight management to boosted energy without deprivation or crash dieting. Their meals are backed by science, plant-rich, and nutritionally designed. And it's delivered fresh to your door anywhere in the U.S. Start your new year with 20% off your first order when you go to sakara.com/radio or enter radio at checkout. That's SAKARA.com/radio. The simplest healthy habit to start this new year is one for your dog. Every day, more dog people and more vets are quitting the kibble, kicking the cans, and feeding their dogs dog food that's actually, well, food. The Farmer's Dog Food is developed with vets, made fresh from real meat and veggies, portioned for your dog and delivered right to your door. Get 50% off your first box of smarter, healthier pet food at thefarmersdog.com/fresh start. That's thefarmersdog.com/fresh start.
Breaking news on 92.9 FM ESPN is presented by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app today or visit BetQL.com.
SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night presented by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average. Call or click today and find out if they could save you hundreds on your car insurance.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Celtics with a 43-point win over the Nets, while the Timberwolves outlast the Warriors in overtime. Breanna Stewart landing a free agent deal with the New York Liberty. And it has been a week with some pretty big retirement announcements. Yes, it's been a crazy train this week. Ozzy Osbourne announcing his touring career is now over. But as for the NFL news, of course, Tom Brady's retirement announcement is the one that came down on Wednesday following a trying year. ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
If there was one moment to define Tom Brady's 23rd season, we need not look beyond his own simple explanation during his year's most complicated stretch.
I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on.
For years, Brady's age has been the way we have quantified his immortality. So now, to be reminded there's more to remaining ageless than the velocity of a pass, we became blatantly aware that life and football and everything in between isn't easy for anyone. From the day he announced his decision on March 13th to end a 40-day retirement, Brady's real-life challenges have collided with his fantastical desires to chase one more ring, and an 11-day absence from training camp provided the public's first glimpse of the impact. When Brady sat quietly at his locker after an October 27th loss to the Ravens, marking his first 3-game losing streak in 2 decades, the truth of his pain would be revealed the following morning. Brady and wife Gisele Bündchen announced the end of their marriage.
This team just isn't good. Tom Brady has a part to play in it, but this isn't the team he unretired to be a part of.
Right, I got it. Tampa Bay's team struggled this season, there is no doubt. The offense never clicked. According to sources, the play calling became frustrating for many in the organization. But Brady also knows his own mental focus was gone for a bulk of the season. His physical stature, faced with 15 pounds of weight loss, was also in peril. He felt at times like his preseason anguish ended his chances at success before the regular season even started. There were times this season when Brady was inclined to return to the Bucs to, quote, be part of the solution. But he also long knew retirement would be a real consideration when the season ended. Upon nearly 2 weeks of reflection, Brady knew what he needed to do.
I'm retiring for good. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing.
Brady, as one person put it, is exhausted. The year has taken its toll, and Brady is now ready to recharge and rebuild. This time, though, unlike so many off seasons before, it is not simply his body, but also his mind. And so Brady is finished playing football, a hard season behind him, a hard year in his past. It is now time to step back and realize not what this year has meant, but rather what this career means. Tom Brady ends 23 seasons as the greatest of all time.
And with the announcement on social media on Wednesday, the accolades, the flowers came Brady's way on Wednesday. Earlier on ESPN Radio, our Chris Canty.
In a sport that is obsessed with measurables and physical dominant traits, the greatest attribute that Tom Brady has is something you can't see. It's an intangible. It's an immeasurable. It's the will to win. And it's an obsession with competition. And it's not just the opponents. It's a competition to be a better version of himself than he was the day before. He is the GOAT. His competitive greatness is unmatched, and there will never be another Tom Brady.
The GOAT debate in golf largely comes down to two people. It's Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. Tiger at his best versus Jack at his best, Tiger was better. Tiger couldn't do it as long. So Jack accomplished more. When we talk about Mahomes, Mahomes might have a prime, but Tom Brady has redefined prime. A prime shouldn't be more than like 8 years long, at maximum 12 years long. Tom Brady's prime was 20 years.
Our Mike Greenberg earlier on Greeny. Brady walking away at the age of 45. ESPN's Chris Berman.
45, almost 46. He threw 700 whatever passes. He went out slinging like he came in. This is Wayne Gretzky retiring. Willie Mays, maybe, right? What did he play, 21 years? So he played in half the Super Bowls, 10. He won a third of them, 7. So if we eliminate everything else, how about that? If winning is the ultimate yardstick for judging a quarterback or anybody, right? If we just let that sink in.
Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl rings and, of course, a host of passing records over the course of his 23-year NFL career. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. There's been the discussion recently about what other teams will be doing about their quarterback situation, their offense situation. Case in point, Dallas. Reports are that the Cowboys may be committed to drafting a quarterback come the draft this spring. As for the offensive play calling, team owner Jerry Jones.
This is the logical step to build on it and use what we've established, or if you will, the foundation of the wins we've got. This is a time for us to build on it, and that's what this is. This is a building step.
Offensively, will you keep the same offense, or will you go back to what Mike used to run in Green Bay?
It will be, I'm sure, with added nuances of the times, but more importantly, the personnel. But it will be, in principle, the way he operated in Green Bay, which I'm sure he'll tell you evolved.
Evolved, and Dak Prescott will have to evolve to the system under Mike McCarthy, who will be getting the play calling duties in Dallas after Kellen Moore's departure earlier this week. Meanwhile, Cowboys still looking to get back to the NFC Championship game.
I understand why, when you look back and say, well, San Francisco and Cowboys haven't been to a Super Bowl in 25 years and haven't won a Super Bowl in 25 years. Mm-hmm. I understand that. San Francisco in the same boat. But my point is that has not been the same for 25 years. There's been many different things done over 25 years, the same way there would have been had you changed out general manager.
Jerry Jones saying the Cowboys and the 49ers are in the same boat, but perhaps not when it comes to the quarterback situation. Niners, of course, were down to their third and fourth stringer come the NFC Championship game, and we know that didn't go well. As for the Niners' future at quarterback, head coach Kyle Shanahan.
Is there a scenario in which you guys can see Jimmy being back, and if so, what would that look like?
No, I don't see any scenario of that.
Jimmy Garoppolo, unlikely to return to the Niners. Unlike this time last year, Garoppolo would be a free agent this time around. ESPN's Adam Schefter.
They're in a situation now where Brock Purdy has to determine whether or not he's going to have surgery on the torn UCL in his elbow. Trey Lance says he'll be ready from his fractured fibula and the 2 ankle surgeries that he had for OTAs. And Kyle Shanahan said today that they do not expect Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a free agent, to return. So that means they have Purdy and they have Lance for next season. they could explore another veteran. It's always possible. They have the two young quarterbacks. Maybe if Tom Brady were willing to play, maybe they would have been interested, but it's a moot point now because Tom Brady announced he's retiring for good. So the 49ers are back in a position where they have the two young quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo is moving on. And for a team that's had so many quarterback questions, there still really are a couple of more heading into the 2023 season.
Quarterback questions for the Niners. And at this point, not a lot in terms of answers. Here's our Keyshawn Johnson.
Purdy's injured. You don't know what's going to happen there. If he gets no matter if he gets surgery or not, it's going to be 6+ months before he's ready to compete. Trey Lance is coming off injuries. So when you start to look at the landscape, I start with Trey. Let's see what he looks like in OTAs, but I also would go out there and explore a veteran quarterback. The only guy that's out there right now that I would take a run at would be Carr. The reason I would take a run at Carr is because it's going to be cheap from a trading standpoint to get him. You're not getting a first rounder, so you got some stuff to play with. And from a money standpoint, Jimmy Garoppolo falls off your books, so you can grab maybe that money and give to him because they're cap strapped right now, and you're not getting Aaron Rodgers. I'm not trading you Aaron Rodgers within my conference. Plus, I don't have the money to pay him, nor do I have the capital to get him. So that's over with. So really the only option to me is Trey Lance or take a look at Carr for a short period of time while those young guys still develop.
We'll see what direction the Niners take over the course of this offseason. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Back to the NBA.
With the Celtics up by 35, shot clock off, final seconds of the third quarter, and a bell-to-bell dominant Boston performance. Tatum, pull up three, bang.
98.5 the Sports Hub as the Celtics roll over the Nets, 139-96. Jason Tatum, 31 points. He had a plus 46, plus minus, the best in the game. Speaking of blowouts, we have the Hawks and Suns in Arizona.
Trae Young will bring it up. Trae gets it across. Now goes behind a pick. Goes to the foul line. Gets swallowed up. Puts it up anyway and in. So Trae's got 20. And the Hawks lead 102-65. Another 37-point lead. DJ way out there with it. Now starts to drive. He goes to the basket. He goes up and in, and he gets fouled on the play. DeJounte Murray now with 20 points on the night.
And the Hawks roll to a 32-point win, 132-100. Suns losing by 32, largest loss of their season, tied for their second largest in a game since Chris Paul joined the team in 2020. Hawks with a 32-point win, their largest of the season. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, after the game with Bally Sports.
Guys, amazing team win. You guys did so much right for 48 minutes. DeJounte, I'll come to you first. 20 assists between the two of you guys. How are you able to spread the floor the way that you did tonight?
Just doing what we're doing. It starts with him. He's a hell of a passer. Obviously I think I would pass well too, but, we just staying together, trying to win games, trying to figure it out. Like I said, he was ahead of Snake. He came out, getting guys involved, and it was only right for me too.
Trey, you talked about how good of a passer you are. You have a 3,000 assists now for your career, and you could become. He got his assists. You become the second youngest player with 8,000 points, 3,000 assists, 1,000 rebounds. Just what does that honor mean to you behind LeBron?
It's cool. For me, wins matter more than the stats, but anytime you're mentioned with greats and the work you put in off the court in the summertime, and it translates onto the court, it means a lot to me, and I hope it means a lot to my teammates, because that's who I do it for. And you can't get an assist without your teammates, so that's one of my favorite stats because of that. So I take pride in getting my teammates involved and scoring when I need to, but I can't do it without them.
Young with 20 points, Murray with 21 en route to the win. Hawks with a season-high 19 made three-pointers. Kings, a 119-109 win over the Spurs, who've lost 7 straight games in 12 of their last 13. Jazz topped the Raptors 131-128. Utah scoring at least 30 points in all 4 quarters. 131 points, ties the most over the last 20 games. Rockets get past the Thunder, 112-106. Rockets, third time winning back-to-back games this season. The one retirement we can virtually guarantee that we won't hear this offseason. That's next. Sports Center all night at ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday. Thursday, how does Tom Brady's retirement affect the quarterback landscape? What happens with the Bucks? Are the 49ers sold on Trey Lance? Keyshawn, J. Will, and of course Max. 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
More Sports Center all night. Next.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. Because when you feel empowered, you're more ready for life's challenges. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, entirely online, and it matches you with a licensed therapist. Let therapy help empower you. Visit betterhelp.com/goal to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/goal.
Everyone knows it's not Valentine's Day without the roses. For close to 50 years, 1-800-Flowers.com has set the standard for love's official blooms. 1-800-Flowers.com works with premier farms in the U.S. and abroad that follow socially and environmentally responsible practices, making sure only the freshest, most beautiful bouquets make it from the farms and to your door. Surprise someone with a wow-worthy Valentine bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com/listen. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/listen.
Ready for a reset? Sakara is a nutrition company that supports your goals, from weight management to boosted energy without deprivation or crash dieting. Their meals are backed by science, plant-rich, and nutritionally designed. And it's delivered fresh to your door anywhere in the U.S. Start your new year with 20% off your first order when you go to sakara.com/radio or enter radio at checkout. That's SAKARA.com/radio.
And now for our bonus round. It's the most stressful season of all. Name it, Dave, for 300 points.
What is winter?
Oh, come on. Correct answer. What is tax season? Sorry, Dave. Whoa, who are you?
I'm April from TaxAct, where we help you file for less and get more.
More for less?
Yep, so you can turn tax season into maximum refund season.
Well, there it is, folks. Tax season's a winner after all.
Switch to TaxAct today and start for free.
See taxact.com for details.
The simplest healthy habit to start this new year is one for your dog. Every day, more dog people and more vets are quitting the kibble, kicking the cans, and feeding their dogs dog food that's actually, well, food. The Farmer's Dog Food is developed with vets, made fresh from real meat and veggies, portioned for your dog and delivered right to your door. Get 50% off your first box of smarter, healthier pet food at thefarmersdog.com/fresh start. That's thefarmersdog.com/fresh start. This is the smell of the leftover tuna fish sandwich you left in your lunchbox over the weekend in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a Hefty Ultra Strong trash bag.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? Hefty Ultra Strong has Arm & Hammer with continuous odor control, so no matter what's inside your trash, you can stay one step ahead of stinky. And for bigger jobs, try the superior strength of Hefty Large Black Bags.
A legacy of sports in Memphis.
It's my go-to station.
The flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers Talk. 92.9 FM, ESPN.
Sports Center all night continues with Jay Reynolds.
We're taking you to Key, Jay, and Max, 6 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN Radio. Sports Center all night is presented by Progressive Insurance.
Super teams are the new thing, as you can see. So we're just trying to make sure that we're as good as possible. We have all of our boxes checked, and like I said, when you look at the talent, there's a lot of amazing players on this roster, and we're gonna go after the championship.
And when you look at the New York Liberty roster, Breanna Stewart's addition makes them even more of a super team. Here's our Ramona Shelburne.
With one tweet, Breanna Stewart changed the WNBA forever.
I decided to go to New York because I want to continue to be great. I'm really excited to go after their first championship.
Welcome to the super team era. By leaving the Seattle Storm for the New York Liberty, Stewart will team up with former #1 overall pick Sabrina Ionescu and former league MVP Jonquel Jones to form a team for the ages.
A little icing on the cake for Jonquel Jones.
A team with more superstar talent than just about anyone, except the defending champion Las Vegas Aces, who added two-time MVP and champion Candace Parker. The WNBA has had great teams before. The Houston Comets with Hall of Famers Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, and Tina Thompson won the first 4 titles in league history.
Oh my! Praise the rope, Houston!
But those teams were formed at the same time as the league. The Aces and Liberty have been built through free agency, which became much more active since changes in the collective bargaining agreement in 2020 allowed for more player movement. Stewart made charter air travel a key factor in her free agency, which she believes is critical to all players' health, safety, and performance. While none of her suitors could make a direct pledge to her on the issue due to salary cap rules, Stewart believes she has raised the issue to a level of importance that meaningful conversations and changes will continue in the immediate future.
Right now, it's just a no, and maybe it could be a maybe.
They are lofty goals, to be sure, but Stewart is thinking big, hoping to use her platform and voice to move the league forward.
Big spotlight with Breanna Stewart now going to New York as well. On the ice, final games before the NHL All-Star break, All-Star festivities coming up on Saturday. It's on ABC and ESPN+. Over the Sabres, Carolina extending its win streak to 7 straight and now a 10-game point streak. Bruins beat the Maple Leafs 5-2. 39 wins, 83 points on the season. 83 points tied for the most through the first 51 games of a season. 1979-1980 Flyers also did it. Boston also making top sounds as we bring in Steve Lennox.
Number 4.
Jay, Celtics home in Boston against the Nets Wednesday night. It was a romp. Jason Tatum and the Celtics were feeling it from downtown, especially early on. Celtics, 13 threes and 46 points in the first quarter. Here is one of Tatum's three-pointers from downtown with a call coming from 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Tatum, deep on the left side, steps to his left, into a three, got it. The Celtics are 8 of 8 from 3. They have a 30-point lead, and it took them 9 minutes to get it. Where were you the night this happened?
Number 3.
Sixers at home in Philadelphia taking on the Orlando Magic. Tyrese Maxey with the bucket in the second quarter. Tom McGinnis, the call, 97.5, the Fanatic.
Wagner gets it, but it's tipped away by Niang. Embiid to Maxey. Maxey in on Harris. Right-hand layup. Yeah, it's gone. A driving, fast-paced layup by Maxey. Gary Harris there, and it didn't matter. Acrobatic finish by Maxey.
Number 2.
Warriors and T-Wolves going overtime in Minneapolis. Anthony Edwards extending the T-Wolves lead in OT with this bucket. 8:30 WCCO with the call.
Now he gets blitzed to the right side. Edwards crosses over on Wiggins, turns the corner to the rim. Oh, in traffic, he got it to fall. Off window and in for 2 for Ian. He scored the last 4. Timberwolves with a 5-point lead.
Number 1.
And Jay, let's wrap with college basketball from Wednesday night. The number 1 team in the entire nation, the Purdue Boilermakers, able to keep up their winning ways. Purdue, a home win against Penn State. Rob Blackman, the call from Learfield.
Swings it right side. Morton. Ethan skips to Gillis, far left wing. He's going to shoot another 3.
And why not? Mason Gillis is unconscious.
Unbelievable. Mason is just, he's in the zone, right? You're not thinking when you're in the zone, you're just letting it fly.
Purdue goes on and gets a 20-point win as the top-ranked team in the nation. Number 2, Tennessee, meanwhile, loses to Florida 67-54. Tennessee, the 10th different school to lose while ranked in the top 2 in the AP poll this season. Sports Center all night, ESPN.
So when I say he gets away, I don't always mean that in a negative way. Sometimes, like, ego gets in the way for good reasons and for rightful reasons. Let me say it that way. In my mind, if there was any chance at all that Aaron Rodgers was going to walk away, and this is just me, like, I don't know Aaron, but if it was in my mind, if there was any chance,
retire, walk away,
retire. He's like, you know what? You guys aren't going to trade me. I don't want to play here. I'm going to retire. The retirement of Tom Brady
makes that absolutely impossible. Because I can't imagine any scenario where any quarterback that's had the career that Aaron Rodgers has had would want to go into the Hall of Fame the same year as Tom Brady. How does it feel going into the Hall of Fame knowing that you're going in as the second best quarterback in your own class? Not a chance in hell.
But
Aaron Rodgers is going to come back no matter what.
No, it's no way in hell Aaron Rodgers is going to go into Canton with Tom Brady, who has 7 Super Bowl rings. Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl ring. Tom Brady went to 10 Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers only went to 1 Super Bowl, even though it was on the path of taking out my 13-3 Falcons team. I hate you, A-Rod.
It makes sense in my mind. If you're Aaron Rodgers now, you want to keep playing, and you want to keep playing somehow, some way, so no matter what.
So we will see what happens with Aaron Rodgers this offseason. As he admitted on the Pat McAfee show this week, conversations have begun, not with him, but with his camp and the Packers. Eagles reserve offensive lineman Josh Sills indicted on rape and kidnapping charges stemming from an incident in Ohio just over 3 years ago. The NFL Wednesday putting the rookie on the commissioner's exempt list. He's played just 4 snaps this season. A grand jury indicted Sills earlier this week. His attorneys saying Wednesday the allegations are false. Sills due in court later this month, 4 days after the Eagles are going to be playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Going on the road, well, as we've learned so often this season, not a good idea. That's coming up next. The Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday, the last 20 years have been dominated by both Tom Brady and LeBron James. So who is the greatest athlete of this generation? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, E2, and ESPNU.
The top headlines are next on SportsCenter All Night.